Coming to you live. This time I am home. Yay! Charlie, you ready with the sound effects and stuff?
Yes, I am ready.
Lying ass.
I am.
Welcome to the Sketch Zone podcast. I am Carlos Gomez, and this week we are speaking to... Okay, look. If you guys ever wanted a creative superhero, this is the guy you want to talk to. He does basically everything, right? He's a director. He's an animator. He's a documentarian. Get this. He's a B-boy. We're going to find out what all that means when we talk to the one, the only, Konee Rok.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
Nice to have you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for that. Thank you for that intro.
You know, we're here to spoil folks. That's what we do.
It feels like Halloween. Like
And
the
I
candy.
got my trusty homie Charlie B. Williams III.
Hello, everyone. Second week in a row.
Nice. Let me apologize in advance for
Second week in a row. They
sound
allowed me to
effects.
run the soundboard.
Jack, please come back soon.
Jack, just take your time. Don't have to come back right away, buddy. I haven't. I got you. I'm here.
Yeah, so Jack is
All right, moving on.
Jack is still recovering from his trip to India, so we're probably going to see him next week. Until then,
What happened to Jack?
Jack went to India. He was working with some. Well, he works at DreamWorks TV, and
Cool.
they sent him to India to
He's the boss.
to get to know the animation studio that's out there that helps them out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went
Nice.
out there.
He's
and,
been traveling a lot, right? Nice.
I think
He's
this is
been
the
there.
first big trip for work.
Oh, the other one was a vacation, wasn't it?
Yeah, he does a lot of vacationing and such. Little fancy pants world traveler, that kid.
Yes.
Yeah, but enough of that. Guess where I'm going tomorrow?
Where are you going?
Adobe.
Oh, what's happening tomorrow?
Cool.
There's some sort of
The user group?
drink and get to know each other type of thing happening, and I was invited. That's one of the benefits of living out here, dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. I was walking down the streets of San Francisco one day, and I just went into this this convention center, I guess, and I was surrounded in Adobe stuff. I had accidentally walked into like an Adobe conference thing that was happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so those are some of the cool things that happens when you
Now,
live
is there a presentation on tomorrow also with the mixer, or is it just kind of like meet and greet? Are you going to be reviewing any kind of new demo for anything over there, or is it?
You know, I don't know. They wanted to talk to like what's called a solopreneur or small business entrepreneurs, and so they invited me out. So it's gonna be fun.
Solopreneur.
So if you're
Nice.
following me on Instagram, I am going to be Instagramming my ass off tomorrow.
You gonna Snapchat it?
I'm gonna be, dude. It's like a fat kid in a candy store.
Is Periscope still a thing that people do?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
There's a lot of, you know, who does a lot of periscoping is like tech folks when they're opening boxes and stuff of the new technology.
Yeah, the unboxings, it's all over YouTube too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm gonna be hanging out there. Hey.
Adobe. I like Adobe.
Yeah. Yeah. They are a little bit essential. I hate to say it that way because it's all fanboy, but
Yeah, it is.
they're essential when it comes to getting things done, and actually, like, Photoshop feeds into Illustrator, and both of those feed into After Effects, and just everything is super seamless.
Dynamic link.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you
A
go.
little bit dope.
They need to go ahead and release that font program they showed last year.
Yeah, they
Quick on that.
call it Serif or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Coney, did you hear about that?
What is that?
Adobe's coming out with this software that you can design your own fonts.
I don't know if I did hear that. That I might, because their conference videos, their keynotes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I heard the font thing is new. It's this next upcoming thing in June, right? Is it in June it comes out?
I don't know if they released.
Well, they do their.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think
Not sure.
it
I
was
thought they
one of
did their
those-
conferences in June.
Yeah, I think it was
Sounds cool though. I mean,
one of their
that's amazing.
one of their last Adobe Lab things. Like, this is the kind of stuff that we're messing with.
Yeah, they showed it on an
Yeah.
iPad. So the cool thing about it was like an intuitive program on the iPad. Say you wrote out Charlie, right? And then you're able to go to each individual word, really, really simple, and change different things, change change all the different stuff. Not like, because there's been other font programs before, but this one was like iPad easy. You know how
Yeah.
Apple makes everything like, oh, you just swipe here, you just move here, and you scale this way with your fingers. Like, that's kind of how it was with fonts. And then they were like, all right, you want to change it A to your liking? Cool, you did that. Now hit a button, and it'll propagate those changes to all the letters of the alphabet. You can save this out as your font. So it was like way easier than any font program that's out. Now, from me doing research on the web, the word on the street is that Adobe bought another font program like back in like 2000 and something, like years ago. It kind of had a bunch of functionality, and people are thinking that this is the like updated version of that, but so it's interesting. In any case, it's really nice. So I don't know how we got on fonts, but yeah, it's really good, I think. So
That's nice.
Yeah, that's one of my things when I'm doing design work. Finding that right font, it's kind of a pain in the ass. It's not my favorite.
all right.
So being able to go in there and actually design a font and add more serif or take away some of the thickness, I think that would be a little bit sick.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. It's nice to have that control.
Yeah. So Coney, as far as all of your work goes, you said that you work with Adobe products.
That's true.
And you're a film director.
Yeah.
A documentarian, which kind of the tools are probably about the same, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
What is it what kind of tools do you have? Well, let's talk generically. What's your toolbox look like?
Ooh.
As far as I've been editing on Premiere since '99.
Nice.
Premiere
and before I used Premiere, I used a program called MGI Video Wave.
Ooh.
Do you know what that is?
Oh,
No.
oh my God.
That was, I don't,
something from the 90s.
Yeah. Sounds like one of
You're
those
not-
CDs that you picked up in an alley somewhere.
you're not mistaken. I think it came with the computer, and the computer had like 8 gigs on it. It was an 8 gig computer.
Nice. One of those good CGI machines.
and I just started. I mean, well, I really started on the VCR to VCR type of deal, and then
Nice.
started just filming animation that I would draw, or some claymation stuff on a video camera, and then bringing it in, and I would basically what happened would I would use this MGI video wave program, which is it's as basic as you can get, and I didn't know all I would do is know I would want to do things on it, and that things it wasn't really designed to do. So I would do things like I wanted to do certain transitions and certain types of things like push in and stuff. So I would just tape things to the screen, the computer screen, and set something up on the actual screen, draw something out, and I would tape it to the screen, and then I would take my camera and film that, and then bring that in, and that's how I would get like layers in the beginning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then but that was first, and then DJ Sprite. I don't know if you know who that is, but he dropped off in my house. He gave me a CD. He's like, try this program, and it was Adobe Premiere, and started. It took me I spent what I remember. I spent like a summer. I had something that I had edited on video wave, and then I was trying to re-edit it on Premiere. It was so difficult, but I stuck it out, and then by the end of the summer, I basically had a goal that I really wanted to accomplish, and instead of just because I had a goal and an objective, it's like I was forced to instead of just trying it out or messing around, I really had something I had to get done, so it forced me to learn, and then I learned, and then I just stuck with every iteration, and
Nice.
I was on Windows at the time, and Final Cut. I had used an Avid system that someone else owned to help them out, but Final Cut was on Mac, and around 07 I was considering going to Mac and going to Final Cut, but then that's at the exact same time Premiere went to Mac, so I just I just went with at the exact same time I just went with Premiere, and then it worked out. I feel good about it, and
Nice.
so Mac is part of the toolbox, and Premiere and Photoshop. I do all my animation. I used to draw stuff and then scan it and then bring it into Photoshop, and now every animation I do is only with Photoshop and Premiere. That's all I use. I don't use anything else.
What? Are you serious?
So you liking the new Premiere when all the new updates are done to the Premiere and stuff like that, right? Last couple of years.
It's only getting smoother. It's only helping for my personal workflow. I'm sure for a lot of people it's only getting better. I'm really thankful, and you used to say things like people will be like, what do you use if it's not Avid or Final Cut? People look at you weird, like they look at you like you say Sony, you're like you're saying Sony Vegas or something, like it's the type of thing where you say you're using it and they think you're not real or something, or they're like, okay, but then in my head I was always like, that's just my tool, so. But now when you say Adobe Premiere, it's cool, you know what I mean? But it was a time when it wasn't really, so it's funny how that goes.
Yeah.
But I enjoy. I respect them. I'm thankful for that I stuck with it, and I'm thankful that they keep making it better, and hopefully they keep it going. They don't get lack. Now that Final Cut kind of went the consumer route, hopefully Adobe doesn't get lazy.
Yeah, just keep it pushing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They used it for Man of Steel and for Deadpool and a lot of different things. So hopefully, I actually think Superman with Brandon Routh, Superman Returns. I think that was the first. I could be wrong, but I believe it was one of the first motion pictures with an Adobe workflow. And I know there was a David Fincher movie a couple of years ago. He used it. So
there was a few movies that Premiere's starting to make its way into Hollywood.
Yeah, they did. Like they did all of Deadpool on it, and that was really nice.
Yeah, it just takes a couple. Deadpool's a great one, and I think it's hard, especially when everyone all the companies make investments in other software, and everyone's still on Final Cut 7 from however many years ago. They're going to stick with it because they have to, just like a lot of the news shows still use deck to deck video, just because um, they spent so much money, like, and they trained so many people to use that system to change that over. It's just so expensive, you know. It's understandable, but you know, Adobe's cool though. So that's part of you know, those are some basic things. I like to draw on a Cintiq.
Yeah.
I like yeah, Wakeham's really dope. I've been using Wacom for about 6 years maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, I drew a lot of things using Wacom. Around 08, 09, that's when the last times that's the times I was before when I was just scanning stuff in.
Yeah.
And I haven't been doing that as much over the last 5 or 6 years. Because
I don't
everything
even
I
own
do.
a scanner anymore. I'll draw something and then I take
Yeah.
a picture with my phone and email it to myself.
That's cool too. That's a good idea. Good idea.
I'm cheap,
Oh, yeah.
dude. I'm cheap.
You know, speaking of that,
Yeah.
I had the dilemma. I recently picked up built out a new PC this last weekend, and I had that same like crossroads when I was at the actual counter, because I realized after we spent like 2 hours at the local Fry's, built out this whole crazy machine, and then realized I have no DVD player, DVD
Yeah.
drive,
Yeah.
my computer. Like I
Yeah.
literally didn't have one in my cart, and
Yeah.
I sat there for like 15 minutes, like, oh crap, do I put one in? Well, I haven't used my other one in like a year, and I think on my other one, for some reason, something happened to it where it wasn't opening, but it was getting power, but it wasn't opening. So I was like, but
Yeah.
Charlie, it took you 8 months to realize that it wasn't working because you weren't using it.
Right.
So it's like,
Save your money. Nobody's messing with that stuff anymore.
it was like a simple one now. It was like $24. Remember how much a DVD burner cost back in the day? Well, like a Blu-ray one, this wasn't that much more. It was like what, maybe $30 or something like that.
I
It's not
bought
that
the first.
expensive.
I bought the first one. Panasonic made. It came out in 01. I bought it for $800.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Bought it
yeah.
for $800, and it was terrible. It didn't work very well.
That was me. When I got home from the army, I did my taxes and I took my taxes to Sears and I bought a CD player. It was a single CD player. It was about $600, $700, $800.
Wow.
Also for like home stereo or something?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I put it there, and you're only able to play one CD at a time. And then, you know, this is back when CDs were garbage anyway. You'd listen to a CD for 1 or 2 tracks, and then that was it. So I had 2 CDs, and my mom was like, okay, can you go get your money back? This is dumb.
This
Mom
is
was
dumb.
not having it.
You have so many tapes.
Right?
Just play your tapes.
So you said you do animation. Let's go down that road, because that's kind of my what I like doing. So you take and you draw things on paper, you scan them.
Yeah.
Do you do it like old school way, like you have a stack of paper and you're flipping back and forth and drawing?
I've done things that way. Sometimes I do a mix of that. So yeah, so I'll do it that way. It just depends what I want to do. Sometimes I'll do that, but I'll use a reference. You know, you know, if I'm doing a certain subject, particular subject, then I'll use reference, and I'll look at it, and I'll maybe break a movement down into simplified frames, and then smooth it out if I feel like, you know, I want to smooth out by adding frames later. But the style, well, I like different style. I like whatever fits, you know, the feeling you're trying to get. But I like loose style, real loose style.
A little more sketchy.
Yeah, I like things to be clean, but I like them to feel alive.
Yeah.
So I I don't want to say messy, but yeah, I definitely like something to be just not too perfect, if possible. And I just think that's the most charming. And so yeah, I'll do that, and or just sometimes I'll just draw directly in, into Photoshop with a Cintiq. I'll draw it like that, and usually I always storyboard stuff out, and it's always freestyle. So I'll always freestyle, whether something's going to be real or something's going to be animated. I always usually have the same process where I sketch things out at a freestyle pace, where just listening to, like, if it's a music video, I'll just listen, and I'll just draw. I'll just draw, like, I see this, I'll draw as fast as my mind can think of something, because I try to base everything off of intuition. So,
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like if gut, this is what comes to my mind, and that's probably the best thing. And then once I get all the raw stuff out, like sketch really fast, then I'll, usually, even if it's a crude picture, you get the most feeling out of those, those initial sketches. So, so I'll take those and then, look them over and see what works. Sometimes things don't work, and you need to put more thought into it. So take that, structure it better, work things out, replace things, and then smooth them out. And once I have that set, depending if I'm working with somebody, I'll present it, and if they like it, then I'll work it. Sometimes there's situations where I've made a sketch intending for it to be real, like a storyboard, intending for something to be actually shot, and then it becomes, for whatever logistic reason, becomes impossible to shoot. And I did a video called Fork in the Road. It's animated for Scram Jones. And he had wanted to do this song for a while, and originally the idea was that he would, I really wanted him in real life to be floating around New York, which is where he's from, and I wanted him to just hover. Sorry, I tried to do a physical example, but you want him to hover with his arm.
So awesome.
With his arms out, and I was gonna make him float all around New York, right? It was gonna be like him floating through his life. And what happened was, it's hard to do, and if you don't have the right resources, I know we could do it. I still know we could do it. It's just that it is hard. So I was like,
it's hard to do without a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to do without a budget. Even though, if I had, I could do it, man. I know how to do it. Like, I know I could do it good. Like, it's in my head, like, how to get it done. But it didn't happen. So I took the storyboard. So I was like, fuck it, man. I'll just draw it. I'm just gonna make it. Like, so I just basically everything I wanted to do, I just refined it. I just made it that I made that video that was supposed to be real. That's the advantage of animation,
Right.
Oh, so this whole one, we're for those of you guys who are watching over iTunes, if you check out the YouTube version of the podcast, you'll see some of the videos that he's animated. So this Fork in the Road one, that first crazy scene, the birth scene, that would have been crazy.
You gotta be ready for that one.
I'm sitting here talking. I'm sitting there like engulfed in the video.
So Konee, just so you know, we're actually playing it while you talk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I had no idea.
Yeah. Cool. So it's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's interesting.
Thanks.
So does a lot of your ideas start out as storyboards or in your head, and then like sometimes you just say, okay, cool, I can just animate this anyway, because I feel like you have a cool style where it's like a mixture of like, really nice storyboards that got really nice framing to like full out animated like sequences, where even like the Sunshine video that you had,
right, okay,
with the 3D gas station sign that was like rotating all the way around,
right.
Yeah. So does a lot of your ideas come in the form of like maybe storyboards first, or Or is
It's
this,
pretty cool.
yeah.
That's pretty cool that you noticed or like took note of like that the gas station sign because it's one of those things where like no one's ever like mentioned that or anything, but like I just felt like that was cool from a personal point of view. I'm like, does anybody notice? Did anybody notice that?
There you go. I'm gonna give you the props. Check out the gas station sign. The thing is, had probably a lot of frames to get to look right and stuff. And,
right. Definitely, like I cared to make it like because it could have been a flat sign, you know, like the storyboard was a shell sign, but that was just to get the concept out. But I was like, how can I make this something that's really mundane? How can I make that interesting? And I thought, well, it's a generic image that because I was thinking, okay, it's moving quickly, right? It's transitional, like the style.
Right.
So it's like, what's the easiest way to convey what it is, without it looking, without it being boring and without it looking crude. So I was like, the simplest thing is everyone knows it's a universal symbol for like gas. Just make it a sign, and then why not have it rotate because that's cool, you know. So that's it.
Yeah, it's great, man. Like I notice things like that because then everything else is kind of moving also. So like it's kind of like a nice little transition, and then I focus in. I mean, I don't know. I focused in on 3D elements like that. I'm like, oh, look at that. That's like the draw. That okay.
That's so cool,
really
man.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. Yeah. So usually it's storyboards. It's cool because I did another video that's not animated for her. The first video I did was called "Ugly Part of Me," and she it's where she turns into like she gets mad and she turns into this blue monster in real life. This is not animated. And then when I did that video, initially they had sent me 2 songs to do treatments for, and I did a treatment for the Ugly Part of Me song, and that song's really slow. And then I did another 10-second. It's actually featured in the video because I made it look as good as I can, so it made sense to put in the video. It's when the butterflies are flying around her head.
Okay, yeah.
I just did like that 10 seconds of her singing like da 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 da, like the chorus, because it was such a nice melody. And the spirit of that video originally was kind of like I don't want to say a parody, but like in like the feel of like a Disney-esque type of thing. So just something very pure, butterflies and just her like. Because it's like sunshine, it's sunshine, and But and the charm of the video is that she's going through all this bad stuff, and she still has that spirit. So I did the treatment for Ugly Part of Me, and then I spent a day making the treatment for the 10-second sample to show her what the vibe would be for the other video that would be animated, and then. They really liked them both, but they were both different, and they had to make a choice. So they just chose one, and then after that went well, they were like, "Well, let's get the other one rolling," So then that's kind of how that happened. So when she flew into Chicago, and we shot that video here, the Ugly Part of Me video, and the last day we set aside one last day so I could have her in my house. I have like a green screen set up. And I shot some reference stuff for the animated for I Got Sunshine. So I shot reference stuff so I could have it just in case, So I got her to walk for me and to sing just to get her look, and everything. So but those were all planned as detailed as I could get them, so that when it was time to go, I knew exactly what it really was just about. Once you know what you're doing, it's just about just choosing your style, and then taking the time to make everything look as good as possible, and as creative as possible, not to cut corners if you can,
Yeah.
This
is really cool. I love the side by side, right, Carlos? Speak about
and that's what I was going to bring up.
Go ahead,
and I know that I brought this up in an email thread that you and I were having, Konee. Like the fact that you're showing the actual video with your storyboards, that is dope as all hell. And to me, it's actually really cool to see just how true you stay to your storyboards.
Thanks.
Not a lot of, and I live on the internet. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do this before.
Wow.
Yeah, have you,
That's cool.
Charlie?
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Only time I've seen this done is just for VFX stuff when they're doing breakdowns. But that's more so like if it's for some movie or whatever. But you see there's some behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or randomly you see a student want to do it, but it's not quite the same when people veer off their storyboards.
Yeah.
So this is really cool because it's like down to the bugging of the eyes for this dude. This acting is pretty good, man.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool, man.
Yeah. His eyes.
It's funny because I've been working on animatics and the storyboards and animatics for a cartoon that and I'm just like, dude, this is like a tutorial, and you don't even have to talk over it. I just watch and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes complete sense.
That's so cool, man.
So
that's awesome.
How does the directing go with this? So, are you giving the actors and the artists an actual like what should I put this? An actual like, are you showing them the storyboards and like going step by step through that, and you do the takes until you get the shot to look just like how the storyboards are looking? How's
well, usually for a music video, I would say not always, but generally, an artist will send me a song, and they'll see if I'm interested in it. If I am, if I'm motivated by it, then I'll say, all right, give me a week or whatever, and depending, and then I'll spend the time to do that, and then I'll send it. Basically, imagine just watching the split screen. Just imagine just watching the storyboard. That's how I send it. I send that to them. So I'm essentially sending them the finished video. So they so they get to watch their video, and I'm like, if they like it, then I'm like, all right, now we gotta figure out. Now we gotta get logistic and budgetary and all that. Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, everything's cool, just one thing, or whatever, or I've never had someone be like, no, but because it's an investment of time and energy to make those, because it's like trying to make something great, but generally, yeah, like people they might have one or two things to say, which is fine. My whole attitude is just let me do what I think I should be, and then after you just let me present like what I see, then I'll take any like opinions. Like I don't mind like any like criticism or feedback. I just want to at least I get to have my say. It's like
yeah. Let me get it out on film at first, and then we can tweak it maybe.
Right. Because sometimes like you want to let people can't see what you see. So it could be frustrating because like it could be good if they just saw like it as is. That's kind of like the motivation to do it is that, man, if they just saw like the whole thing and like presented properly, then they would get it, and then I know they would believe in it. So that's kind of the only thing a couple times the only feedback I've really ever gotten was maybe just show the artist's face a little bit more sometimes because that's what they're trying to sell their image, or which is understandable. So they're like, can you show their face a little bit more in certain shots and whatnot, because I try not to always do performance stuff or people are performing to the camera because it's redundant because everyone does it. But sometimes it's important. I understand. So yeah, it's usually how it goes. But definitely.
So let's go back to.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Let's go back to when you're first talking to someone, and maybe I just missed it, but when you're first talking to someone and you're trying to share your idea, do you actually have like the animated storyboards or the animatic with the song on top of it, and you send them a video?
Yeah, they'll send me the song, and then I'll take the song and make the video to the animatic.
Cool.
to an animatic, and then they'll get it back, and they watch the video as it's supposed to be,
Awesome.
and then they'll trust that. Once they're like, all right, it's a go, then I'll be like, all right, then you have to do all the work where you're like, all right, to achieve this in reality, you have to do, we'll have to do it here, and
Right.
we'll need these people, and that's when you
Right.
say it'll cost this much, and then you work that out,
Yeah.
So the animatic, so is it just the animatic, or are you actually shooting a placeholder video too? You say you give them the split screen, or is it just the animatic?
No, it's just the animatic. It's
Okay, just the
like
animatic.
so after the video is done, I'll
do
like that. I just take that just for because it's cool. It's just because my goal is to achieve the animatic, because that's the challenge. The challenge is to stick with the gut, and
Right.
and
Okay,
I really
that makes sense.
I want to honor it. So that's why if I can do that, I'm proud of that, So I want to show, like, hey man, this is the idea, and this is what we made a promise and we came through. That's how I look at it,
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's
That's
like
awesome.
yeah.
So before we go too far, I wanted to share a little feedback from Chad, DJ Risky Business. Little shout out to him. Thanks for watching the show. He goes, Konee's such a dope artist and visionary.
Ah, nice.
That's my boy right there, son. Risky.
Thanks,
Is he
man.
listening live? Is Risky listening live? Hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
Ris-
tuning in, man.
I have a feeling that guy might be a Sagittarius.
Hey, Cody, you have to check out. He was on the show. Yeah, check out what he was on.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool, that kid. But that's like, he's like my little chunky little brother. But
Oh wow.
yeah, once you get him talking, dude,
He's gonna
just kidding, Risky. Love you,
He's gonna
dude.
get you. He's gonna get you.
Yeah, he is.
You thought you was
Like,
slick.
he's sending me messages right now. I wanted to talk to you about this Avery Sunshine video that you did.
That's a really cool one. Oh, put it back up on.
It's called Avery Sunshine. I got Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, the animated one. Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Actually, before I'm gonna share my screen again so people can see what I'm talking about.
That's the one.
This is the one that I caught. That that I was like, okay, I'm dealing with big boys right now.
Mm-hmm. That's the one with the gas stations thing you was just saying earlier.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, maybe you do, but this video was on SoulTrain.com.
I might. I don't know.
Well,
Cool.
now you know.
Good to know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta go
That's
there.
cool. Yeah. Is it on right now?
It's great. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, and if you're too young to know what Soul Train is, look it up. That's Soul Train is to how would you say it? Urban folks, what American Bandstand was. This is back when TV was actually good. So it's a big deal to have you featured on SoulTrain.com.
It's awesome.
If you didn't know what American Bandstand was.
I know. Right when I said American Bandstand, I was like, if these kids don't know Soul Train, these kids aren't going to know.
What would it be nowadays?
That's the goal. The goal is to get on AmericanBandstand.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's my dream. That's my dream.
I guess it was like
That's how I know we did it.
I guess it used to be like even though it was dancing, I guess you could equate it to like a TRL or a 106.
Yeah, TRL might be the closest thing to it.
It's a pretty good analogy.
But yeah, go to YouTube and do a search for for Soul Train. They used to play the latest music, and then instead of just having like music videos and goofy stuff, they would have actual people dancing to
dance party, yeah.
those songs, and it's every week there was a dance party.
And then the artist
Soul Train was a lot better because folks on Soul Train actually knew how to dance. People on American Bandstand were snapping each other's necks, bumping into shit.
Yeah, and they would do like even tryouts, and dancers would do that so they can get noticed and stuff back in the day too. And it was good. But like to the equivalent to what if you're younger, then it would be like a TRL or a 106. Only because
106 in Park,
106 in Park, only because of the newest artist was on there, and they usually were there live and they were doing their song, and everybody would sure they're at home on what was that, Saturday or something, whatever. I think back when I was young it was Saturday, but I don't know what the original time. Saturday afternoon to come on. You make sure you watch it, you know. So
the latest fashions.
Yeah.
Fred rerun Barry.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Rest in peace.
Sorry. You're right. So we got done watching the Avery Sunshine video. Listen to that song too when you get a chance, because it's a dope song, and the video is really cool too. And it's on SoulTrain.com.
Oh, you should play the Kindred family one.
Yeah, let me find it. If I play it off of his website, it starts playing in my ears.
Oh. Yeah. What was the idea behind that one, Tony?
It was kind of cool. I was at Kindred invited me. The teen in Asia, they invited me to a show in Chicago, and I went. They invited me kind of like casually over the net.
Really?
Over, I don't know if it was Instagram. I just got like a random message. Like it was like, hey, we'll be in Chicago. Why don't you come to the show? And I was like, cool.
Oh, wow, cool.
And then I was at the show. And then while I was at the show, I took a picture of, with my phone of their performance. I was just like, hey, check it out, whatever. And I added them, I think it was on Instagram. And then right after I did that, I got a message back. They were like, oh, you're here? Come on backstage.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, all right. And then I went backstage, and we met each other a few different times in the past. Just I filmed a couple of their shows, and just here and there, just doing different things over the years, and but never like a direct thing like that. And then they were basically like, hey, we want to do something. We want to work with you. And I was like, dope. So
okay, I have to.
Yeah, it was just really nice. It's one of those. It was cool. They were basically like, we like your stuff, and they were just like, let us know what you want to do, and and I was like, yeah, man. So I think maybe, I don't know if it was that night or the next night, I ended up talking to Fatin, and he said, he sent me the song, and really the song is an interlude. It's something that their kids, they have a lot of kids, and they're joking around, and I think they just made that song up on the spot. If you listen to it, it was like it's a chant, and I think I don't know how it happened, but I think they were making fun of the fact that they have to do their chores, And so the laundry, the dishes, the rooms, and the kitchen, about cleaning up. And they caught them on with their, like, I think Asia caught them doing that with their phone, right? And she put it on Instagram. And I think people loved it. And then they came up with the beat, and that was it. Like, they had this interlude, right? And then, so I don't know. I think he wanted to do some type of animation, and then And then he said, hey, what about this? Just to kick it off, to start doing something. And I said, I listened to it, and then that was in February of last year.
Okay.
And then we made like a goal. So I storyboarded it, sent it to him. He was like, thumbs up. And then I just went to work. I think I worked on it for a few weeks or something, maybe. I think I started working on it by the end of February, and we had it done by like April 1st or something like that, like right around there. And that was it. We worked it out, and I worked as hard as I could, as fast as I could to do something special for him that that I thought was special. And then what's cool was while we were doing that, I was sending them progress. I hate sending I like to send something like proper presentation. I don't like to.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like to send a little and then.
Right.
I'd rather bam. So but you can only do what you can do because you got to make them feel like something's getting done. So.
Right.
But anyways, I was sending them stills instead of fully animated stuff sometimes, and then they were really into stills, and then we were having a conversation on the phone during the middle of the working on it, and we were just both ended up saying, oh yeah, this would be a cool children's book, and then they were like, yeah, it wouldn't be a cool children's book. It's like, okay, let's make a children's book. So the kids basically took the basis of what the video story was. I kind of just made the story. I made it up as I just kind of came up with the ideas, freestyle the ideas. It became a story, and they kind of took that, and they took the stills from the video, and they were really. I mean, I do it in 4K. I always draw in 4K and stuff, so it's high resolution. So I just sent them a bunch of stills to choose from, and then they took that, and then the kids kind of reworked the story, and they wrote it together with the parents, so that basically the kids ended up being the authors of the children's book, and they printed it out, and now you can buy it on Amazon. So it's a kids book.
Oh, crazy!
So this music video, this animated interlude,
very organic right there.
These kids made it.
He directs movies, documentaries. He draws, kids book. Good Lord!
Yeah, it's cool, man. I just I like the idea of, they sang a song, turned it into an interlude. An interlude got a music video, and the music video became a book. And now there's a kids book. And my daughter, she's 5. She's just learning to read, and she was reading it the other day. And she's reading the story it's got the real kids' names in the book. The son, his name is Quill, and my daughter's reading a quill was still sleeping. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
So just
does your daughter understand the magnitude of coolness that her dad is?
She thinks I'm cool, but that's right now.
Give it time.
She still doesn't know. She doesn't know anything else yet. So she'll, the true test will be when she knows what all the options are.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm cool.
So who are some of the other folks that you've worked with? To do animation or just anything, or music videos, just in general.
Yeah.
Man, well, there's what I was gonna say was, okay, so I did a video with Raekwon, right? Nice. From Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Just a little project.
It was a big deal to me. It was awesome. It was awesome. I'm very thankful for that. But the point of that was that a lot of people don't know that. So I don't know if you guys saw it or know about it, but I did a video. It's a mixture of animation and live. And have you guys seen it, or do you know about it?
I have not.
Take a look.
Now I want to see it. Yeah.
So I made a sequel to that video. That was the first single on his last album, right?
Right.
But I made a fully animated sequel, which is actually a prequel to that video.
Oh. Nice.
And it exists in storyboard form, and production started on it, and it didn't work. It fell through or whatever. Because what happened was I was gonna do it myself, but then I ended up asked me to do he asked me to do another one, right? And then but I think it was just timing or whatever. Like I had to work on it a little bit later, and then I wanted to step up the production, so I tried to bring in like a few different people, and so we had a team that was working on it. But then a couple people had to end up doing other things. Like one person had to end up working on doing some art for a movie, and different things like that. And it was just opportunities that they had to take. So the production kind of fell apart on it, and because like they had to leave, the direction it was going, I couldn't complete it without them based on the style it was becoming.
Just too much for one person, yeah.
Yeah, so it was either start from scratch and just make it myself, or I don't know what else. But so I did start doing that, and I mean, I think it's gonna get done one day, because it's like I think I just watched the storyboard again. I hadn't looked at it in a while, and it looks I mean, I think I really love it. I think it's really good.
We're watching it right now.
Because not that video, but I'm talking about the one that's not done.
Oh.
I'm not saying that that's real good. I mean, that's up to you guys. But I'm saying that I'm saying that the storyboard for the prequel to this video, I think, is really good, and people should see it. Yeah. But one day people will. But yeah, it's really dope because it basically shows how everything came to be in the video that you're watching now. It tells a whole story, because it's kind of not really a very developed story, like this video, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, the one you're watching.
Right.
But then I developed a story. I kind of created a story around that to make more sense, And it's I think it's cool, man. I think it's worth making, and I believe in it so much that I'm really gonna do something with it. But I don't know if this is interesting to you, but it's something that I thought about when you asked me a question.
Very.
That's cool.
Yeah, I would show you
who WuTang Clan is. People know who Raekwon is.
I would show you the storyboards privately if you wanted to watch them.
Right after the show.
Yeah, because
if it's showing, yes.
The only reason I wouldn't show it now is because I wouldn't want to spoil it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Right. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's it, man. My goal for that prequel is to do something really push, do something that hasn't been seen, a look, So, but it takes time, and I don't want to say it takes money, because it really just takes a will and an ability. Right. But, I mean, it does take money because it takes time, So.
Right. Time is money. La la la.
But so yeah, this is that. But that's I think that's a significant project that's meaningful, and I'm pretty happy that it got done. And I work with my good friend and cinematographer, DJ Intel. He the way that video came to be was actually two different people the story I got was two different people saw a video I did for Rhymefest. I did a video called Stolen for Rhymefest, and it was a Rhymefest song with a no ID beat, and then that was a mixing animation with live video, right? And then I guess Scram Jones was producing for him, and he showed him that Raekwon that video while he was in studio, and then Alchemist, I think separately, was also working with Raekwon, and also happened to show him the same Rhymefest video. And then I didn't know this was happening, but then Scram Jones said, "Hey, is it cool if Raekwon gives you a call?" And I said, "Okay." And then he called.
Sure.
Again, if I have to.
Yeah.
Tell them to call me on Wednesdays.
Right.
And then he called, and then he just said he was, he was right. I didn't expect anything. He gave me some compliments, and he said he wanted to do some stuff, and he brought me to LA to sit in the studio and listen to his album while it was being finished. And then he said, pick what song you like, and I picked some things. I mentioned some things and some songs that I liked, and then he's like, okay, we're gonna follow up with you. And then I flew back to Chicago, and then all of a sudden I got some random call, and he was like, yo, I gotta go on tour last minute, so we gotta shoot this video now because the single's gonna come out and we need the video by this time. So he's basically like, we need to fly you back this weekend, and we need to shoot this video and blah blah blah. And this is the first single. He told me what it was, and I was like, well, I like that song. And then so I called DJ Intel, and we worked together on a lot of things, and he worked on Stolen with me. And then I said, hey, you free this weekend, And then so he flew us in. It was like, I think we shot over 2 days, and I kind of planned it on the plane.
That's what I was going to ask you. When did you have time to draw this?
Planned it on the plane, and I planned the shooting I planned all the live stuff, and I planned all the shooting of these We shot it at a recording studio, and the idea was that, which is why I said like the prequel one I made later kind of developed it, because it wasn't very developed. It was very thin because of how it came together. But the basic idea was that he was trying to record his song in the studio, and all these ninjas were like infiltrating the studio and like trying to kill him while he was recording the song. And or like almost like he was in the middle of this ancient war, because this song is called Shaolin versus Wu-Tang.
Right.
And he's kind of like, he's rapping about how he's kind of stuck in the middle of that. So that's kind of like the nature of why. And so like the studio walls get busted open and all this stuff, and you see that he's in the center of, like, he's in Shaolin, and the studio is a room within Shaolin. And as the video goes and these people try to kill him and things get, blow up, and you see like where he is, like it's kind of what it's about. So everything's animated around him, and he's ducking swords, and the engineer gets stabbed in the back and all that stuff. And it's just something that I thought would be cool.
So we're about to get real for about 2 seconds, okay?
Oh, okay.
The very next video that shows up says Raekwon breaks down the Shaolin versus Wu-Tang with thesource.com. Is he trying to take your juice, dude?
What do you mean?
I haven't watched the video yet, but it says Raekwon breaks down Shaolin versus. Is this kid like taking your ideas and going out and getting some props from people? I'm giving you a hard time.
Oh yeah, he is definitely. There's no question, man.
Yeah, I haven't watched the video.
It always happens.
But if he says, "Yeah, I was sitting in a plane one day making storyboards," I know he's part of Wu-Tang, but. Dude, I got your back. We'll fly out there. We'll take care of some business.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, but anyways, so shot it, and then I spent like a month doing the animation over like the plates, and with some of the things I would just tell him, like, he didn't know what I was gonna do. I was just directing him. I was like, all right, duck, all right, or whatever. But he didn't know like what it was. He was just hoping, he was just trusting me based on what he seen in the past. And it was one of those situations where no one has any idea what's going to be. They just hope that I'm going to do, have the driver do.
Were they worried, Emmy, Konee, or like his people?
I think they were
checking in with you.
I think they were. I think because of the time. The pressure, I think they were, and because like I said, usually this is a storyboard. In that situation, there wasn't, and I don't ever work that way, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well, a cool thing though is that So I'm grinding away, right, trying to finish that video, right, by myself, like the animation and editing. And then while I'm working on the video, I'm like, I'm doing like the character stuff, and then I'm also going to do like the background, the environment art. And then right in the middle of working on it, before I started the backgrounds, I got an email from a kid named Ryan, and he's like, hey, I'm an artist, whatever. I wondered if, I would like to work with you sometime or something. And then I said, all right, here's what I need.
That poor kid Ryan, he's sitting there like, what the hell just happened?
And I said, this is your chance to, but I didn't tell him what it was, right? I didn't tell him who or anything. I just said, listen, like I need this dimension, right? I gave him like the structure of like if I needed a room, I said it just has to, the wall has to be here so I can get the angles right.
Yeah.
And I said, draw me this, draw me that, and I gave him a bunch of a whole list of things I needed, and because he showed me some of his stuff, so I understood his style, and I was like, all right, this is kind of just do a certain style, let me see, and he did it. It was good, and it was a good contrast, I think, with how I was looking with the character stuff. So then he started doing it, and he was just working on stuff and sending it.
That's
and
so
we never met. And then like when I think about it now, I'm like, wow, if not for him, like how I would have finished those backgrounds, dude. So it was like it was meant to be,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
And so it ended up being like, yeah, he did everything what I would call the environment art. He did a good job, and then he became my friend, and then we've worked on other things since then. He's helped me with other things, and he it's funny because we met and ended up doing different projects together. He ended up meeting other people, and then he started working on some movies. So it's crazy how things like happen.
Yeah, you see him grow too. You've had a instrumental role in his like development. It's like awesome too. Even though he just needed help at the time.
Yeah, it's cool, but he had the insights, or he had the outgoingness to even email me. So so you gotta give him credit for that. Plus, but here's the funny thing about that. The funny part is, okay, so I never told him what he was working on, right? And then so he finally sends me like the last stuff, and like I finished the video. I'm like, just so you know, man, the whole time you've been working on a video for Raekwon from Wu-Tang, right? And he goes, oh, well, who's Wu-Tang? Is that isn't that some group or something?
Oh no!
He didn't even know who they were. Like he's like, yeah, I think my sister likes him or something. And I was like, the whole time I'm thinking like, oh man, he's gonna be blown away. And then he
just like, nothing.
It didn't have any like any meaning to him. So I was like,
God, that's funny.
So
I was like, well, I hope you like working with me. But it's funny stuff, man.
That's funny.
It goes to show you, because I talk about this all the time. When I have the opportunity to meet anyone whose work I admire, I don't hesitate. And it's not that I want anything from those folks. It's just I think in the presence of people that you think you're great, I think it elevates your game as well. And so, all of that story that you just got done telling, just basically don't be afraid to reach out to folks. I've had coffee with people, and I've hung out with other people, and it's been really neat, to make the connection, and sometimes it turns into work.
Yeah, sometimes very quickly, right?
Yeah, right.
Sometimes the next email.
That's true, man. And it's funny, like, you don't even know. You bring up something random, and you don't know, you don't know that that one thing that you guys have in common. If you never said it, you would, you never even would have had a conversation. It's crazy.
Exactly.
It's great, man. It's fun, man. That's what makes everything interesting. It's unpredictability,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. So
Another artist that you've worked with in the past was Phife Dawg.
Yeah.
Why was he so important to hip hop music?
Oh man, I mean, him and his group, Tribe. I mean, everyone that all my contemporaries, all of us were influenced and motivated and inspired by their sound and the way they rapped and the way they carried themselves. I think it was it was like one of the centerpieces of an era where the golden age of hip hop, with all the elements. With breaking, I mean, when I started breaking, that was what was playing. They were playing, and
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Google Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, please do.
And then send us emails thanking us.
yeah, like Midnight Marauders, Low End Theory, all that stuff. All that music is just when I hear it, it gets my blood flowing, and I get motivated to do all types of things,
Yeah.
And I can't, I mean, when you ask me that question, I can't even illustrate how significant him and what his group means to hip hop and to me. They're just heavily influential, I think, with music in general, and he just his voice is dope, just unique. He's got a lot of fire, and he's very creative, and just an original person, and a really nice person, a really humble. Every time in my experience, every experience I had, it was just a really humble, just a nice guy, like a pleasant person, and you wouldn't think anything, but he's just a guy. He's soft spoken, and he's just someone that he's like you or me, just a regular person. But he's very talented.
So how excited were you when you got that phone call?
Well, the way that went, I had met him on the I think first on the Bounce tour, which was in LA, and that was Rhymefest was opening for Tribe Called Quest, and I was there with Rhymefest, and then I don't know. I mean, it was kind of like what's up type of, or like introducing type of thing, but that didn't really. I don't think anybody knew each other from that, But that was my first kind of meeting Tribe and him in person, and then a few years later, we did my boy Check It from my crew, Chicago Tribe breaking crew. He asked me if I would film a breaking battle that he was doing, and it was a battle that happened before a Phife Dawg performance, which was sponsored by Puma in Chicago, and it was thrown by React Presents and John Wang, and then I think we went to the Puma store first. It was like before the thing, and they did like a thing with Puma, and then I interviewed Phife there, and he was there with Maceo from De La Soul.
Oh, nice.
Another
talked to them.
Bomb-ass group.
Nice.
Yep. And then interviewed them, talked to them. There was like a breaking thing there too. My crew was there, and then we went to the show, filmed the battle, and then filmed Phife's show, and it was the whole thing was dope. And then after everything, it was kind of like it was at a club, and everything kind of turned into party mode after that, And then Phife was chilling backstage, I was chilling backstage, and it was really relaxed, and I was like, hey man, I'd like to work with Phife. I wonder what he's doing, I didn't know if he had maybe making music lately in the zone? I really had no idea. But I figure, kind of like what you were saying, like you never know, just talk to people, you know. So
Right.
I did. I went up to him and I said, hey, oh no, actually what happened was I was gonna go up to him, and right when I was going up to him, like I saw he was with somebody, like so I didn't want to interrupt, right? So I was like, it's all good, whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna go home because it was kind of late. So then I left, right? And then and then right when I was out the door, and I was like, oh shit, I left my camera. I left my camera bag. And that's the whole purpose that was the whole reason I was there. I was like, so then I ran back. I ran backstage to get my bag. And my bag was gone. Just kidding. It was there. And then Phife stole my bag.
Took it and sold it.
He stole my bag. And he sold it.
No one's gonna believe me now.
And like, I'm not gonna get paid. Right? So then, but my bag was there. And Phife was the person he was talking to was gone. So I got my bag, and then I was walking past Phife, and then I said, hey, you know, are you doing any music and stuff? Because you know, I do music videos and you know, I'd like to do something with you if you're interested. And then he said, you know, talk to my manager Roots, who was standing right behind me, and we exchanged numbers. And then on the way home, we started texting already back and forth, and then we started exchanging emails, and then we just vibed out. And then I finished the video that I was hired to do that night, and then they really liked it. And it turns out they didn't remember it, but I was like, oh yeah, the Bounce tour, like we were both on that. They're like, oh yeah, you know, we talked about that. And then over the next maybe couple of years, we were just going back and forth, like, I have ideas for this, I have ideas for that, and they're like, well, what do you think about this beat? Maybe we'll do this song. And then we kept talking about doing stuff for a little while. And then one day they sent me the beat for Dear Dilla, which is the video that we did. And they said, hey, what do you think about this? And this is what the song's supposed to be. And then I was like, this is, you know, this is dope. I'm ready to do it. They gave me an opportunity to do a storyboard. I did it. They watched it. They're like, let's do it. And they're like, we already booked our plane tickets. We're coming to Chicago, so hope you're ready. Hope you're ready. You know.
Oh wow.
So basically they
no pressure.
Yeah, they booked their ticket. It was like October 18th. They booked their tickets for like November 18th. So they basically, I had no choice but to be prepared within 1 month. You know, and it was a grueling month. Like it was a grueling month because number one, I was like, I mean, it was amazing on so many levels to be doing it. And then plus it was just, there were so many, like if you watch the video, there's a lot of things in it that I had to get together. We shot it at a club in Chicago. And part of it was shot in Detroit. We had to go to Detroit in advance to scout for like locations. And then we shot some of them in my house. We turned my house into a hospital.
Oh, that's not a hospital? Nice.
Yeah. I had to get a hospital bed. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. Hardest thing in the world, man. Those things are heavy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, getting a hospital bed was so difficult because there's a lot of like laws and things about certain things. And because first we tried to get into a hospital to shoot, but that was a whole other thing. So It was just difficult. And then I had to get a dialysis machine because part of the video, the story is about having diabetes, and I needed a dialysis machine. So we had to locate one of those. But there's a whole thing with like there's health reasons that people can't just
use a dialysis machine.
Yeah. So like I can't even tell you the story about how we got the machine. You can just use your imagination.
We got a machine.
Let me just say that it was very dark. A friend of Roots, who Phife's manager and the producer of the song, DJ Rosterroot, a friend of his named George Soto. He picked me up and he's like, I'm gonna help you do this. And then we went to a very, very dark suburb and met a man with behind a gate with a hungry dog, and he had the machine. There was still fluid in the machine, and
Oh, what?
I mean, it's true, man. It's true. And
someone's still attached to it, but they fell off in the cab.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was like, I mean, it might have well have been written like the way as dramatic as it was, to go there and get it and stuff. But we ended up getting it, and then it was stuck in my house for like way longer than it should have been after the video. It was really, really heavy, and I'm probably eternally, I'm probably mortally sick. I probably don't even know that I'm contaminated with something because of it.
But you're ready for just in case you get diabetes.
Yeah, right, yeah, from the machine. But anyways, so we ended up working really, really hard. DJ and Tell was back on it with me, and my friend Jonathan Young, and my wife Nicole, and a lot of people helped out in that video, and it was, if not for everyone's help, we never would have made it. I mean, it's very special.
Wow.
I think it's special for lots of reasons, and obviously it's really important now too. If you get a chance to watch it, I don't know if you know, but there's a half and half storyboard version of that too out there.
Yeah, we're watching that.
Yeah, we just watched it.
Just finished it.
Cool.
It's great. This is
Awesome.
perfect narration while it was on here. Once again, if you're listening on iTunes, this will be one of those episodes to make sure you check out the YouTube version, right, Carlos? Because a lot of good visuals for this.
A lot of visuals, yeah.
Oh, is the iTunes version? Is it audio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a podcast and video cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you keep bringing up these, you keep sneaking things in there about you being a b-boy.
I mean, that's just me. It's no.
Do you see the hat?
No frills. No frills.
I knew what it was.
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about
it. Go on right now.
For people who don't know who Raekwon or Wu-Tang are, what does it mean to be a b-boy?
I mean, for me, I don't even really. For me, man, it's like an energy, man. I just feel a certain, I don't know if it's competitive or it's just like a fury. I feel like a fury.
Yeah.
And when making films and drawing or making animation it's introverted kind of. It's a lot of, it's internal and it's mental, and there's fire there too, but it comes out in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And then breaking is like it's a physical explosion, and it's
right.
But it's not like fighting or like basketball or something. It's because it's motivated by music, so it's kind of different.
Right.
It's not like skateboarding either because of that. It's like it's a physical expression, but it's motivated by like a beat. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's something about just like it's always, for me, it's always been the music. I mean, so I hear the music, and sometimes I want to I see something, and sometimes I just want to just let loose and
go out.
It's something that's inside me. And
what's that one song that you listen to that you just can't? It don't even matter. You could be in the middle of church, and you're just like, oh, I gotta get it going.
It's the DJ Honda remix called Massimo by it's the Roots DJ Honda remix Massimo. It's a kind of an obscure but if you hear it, it's the beat is
ready to go though.
the beat is so dope. I used it. I used the beat. I used the instrumental for DJ and Tell, because he's my cinematographer, but he's also a DJ. So if I'm ever at a spot, he has it because he knows it's my favorite. He'll always play it for me. And my rule is my rule is if he plays it, I have to go down no matter what situation, you know. So it's what's kind of dope is last year he ended up opening up for DJ Honda, and I took a picture of it because I was like the whole connection. Like, yeah, he opened for DJ Honda. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get a picture of these guys together because he always plays my favorite song by him. So
yeah,
That's awesome.
So it's full circle. But yeah, that beat I use that for because my crew Chicago Tribe, we had a 20th anniversary last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I put I made like a highlight video of everyone that was ever in the crew over the years, and it was all to that beat. So if you are interested in what it sounds like, just look you can look on like my YouTube and just search Chicago Tribe anniversary, and it'll come up, and you can rock out. And then,
so now that we're talking about you being a b-boy, breakdancing, and doing all that good stuff,
yeah.
How accurate are these dance movies? Usually what happens is you got one crew on that side, and then of the club, and then you got another crew on that side of the club, and then you might get a couple guys that bump into each other, and then they start popping and locking and spinning on their head and shit. Is that how it works for you guys, or do you guys do like create a Google event and like send out invitations?
Google event.
That's funny. A Google event. It's an interesting time right now.
Right? Yeah.
I would say based on what I've learned and from different people, like I don't know about the movies now. I would say they're pretty loose with reality. but I think there was a battle. I think Beat Street in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
That I think the battle at the Club Roxy was between Rock City and New York City Breakers, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they said that was a real battle. I think people did say that it was real. And,
really? Yeah.
Because even though it was for the movie, I think they're competitive. They're young and competitive. They really wanted to beat each other. This is what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say if anything that would be like the closest thing to like a cinematic representation.
Mm-hmm.
But even that has like I think nothing has been done that like truly, as far as like a written story that truly represents it. But it's funny because like actually this week I've been doing heavy research about kind of like the history of the exploitation of breaking.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a boom, like there was like that 84, 85, there was a boom, like you could see it. Like I did all this research with like old magazines like at the time, and just I researched like how often and where and in what context breaking or b-boying or breakdancing, however they said it, was mentioned. And you could look at 1983, and then you could look at 1986. And in 1983, it was this new thing that was hype, the way it was described by the media, mass media. And then in 1984, 85, it was like 200 breakdances at the Olympics, the thing. 1986, they're making fun of it. You know what I mean? And they're like, it's about to be replaced by biking or whatever the hell, the new breakdancing. You know what I mean? And it's a great example. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit. I think I'm lagging a bit. But no, I was thinking there's a couple other documentaries that I've watched and read about like the commercialization within those 2 years, because how back in the day, it's a little bit different now with the nightly news. Sometimes the nightly news would have like those stories of what's happening in your town at the time, and then they would give like the national level element to it. So they'd be like, there's this new thing, this new dance created, this new way of dancing or whatever that's happening in urban areas of like the country, and then like somebody else would see it, and some other producer on like insert a network name would be like, oh, we need to show more of that. So then somebody else would do an expose or something on it in that 2 years you were talking about, and then it kind of started commercializing. And I don't know who thought of it like, oh, like we're more suburban, predominantly white like demographics got a hold of it also, where like it became cool, and then there was a whole like, then people started spinning it by 85 too. To like aerobics, almost, that's where you see those like crazy like videos, if you ever see on YouTube, of like the real cheesy breakdance videos where like all these instructors and stuff were picking up breakdancing, and like they're trying to almost do it like it's like a new aerobics thing type to do. Like it was
You
like
remember when they had that little kid talking to Mr. Rogers? And they started spinning on the cardboard, and Mr. Rogers like, gee, I can't do that.
That's crazy,
commercialized, man. It became everywhere. Like, I mean, there's even old videos of like the dude that played Carlton, whatever his name is, like
Alfonso.
Alfonso was like on some of those old ones, like dancing up a storm and stuff like that back in the day. A couple of other people. It's like crazy how it like, I mean, that happens all the time nowadays, right? Because it's like, to us, like something can go viral on YouTube or on Instagram, and then next thing you know, like the whole world knows about it, right? Or somebody can break up or whatever, or some news can happen overnight. But for that to happen to, breaking and breakdance and all that good stuff in the span of 2 years, when they don't have the outlets of media like we do now, was really really crazy.
Yeah, it's a great. That's why I think it's good to research. Like, it's good to understand something that's so deep and has, really strong roots that it could happen to something like that. It's just, it's good to know. It's good to know. It's good to understand why that happens and how that happens and how to not let that happen.
Yeah.
But
you might have known this too, Carlos and Konee. That being said, was that in the same amount of time when movies came out, or was that later? Like wasn't there a bunch of movies that kind of did the same type of deal with the subject matter of breakdancing and stuff, besides the ones everybody know about? But did that happen in those 2 years too, or no?
Yeah, there was a competition between movie studios of who was going to have the first breaking movie out, because breaking was a fad that was booming. And I believe it was the summer of '84. Beach Street, it was Miramax, and I'm trying to remember the other studio, but they were racing to who can get out first. So within a week of each other,
because they were grabbing up dancers and were like trying to find a bunch of people.
Breaking came out and Beach Street came out like within a week of each other, and then by the end of that same year, Breaking 2 came out.
Yeah, so it was really quick. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's really interesting? There's all these other like obscure breaking movies and all
that's
this.
What I've heard of. Yeah. There's like a bunch of them. There was like direct-to-TV ones.
And if you do a search on YouTube for breakdancing and stuff, or breakdance exercise, you got like these.
I'm telling you,
you got these like older ladies that are like trying to like pop and lock their way to fitness.
It was. I'm telling you, that's the part. Like when I was watching the documentary, and then I just looked up on some of those things. And I was like, look at these people, the people they just jumped on the bandwagon. Middle America just don't know anything about it. They sound really weird when they're talking about it, and they're like, "This is how you would do it." Like, it was,
There was a lot of books on it, and like how to, and a lot of that stuff.
The audio video books,
There's a lot of bad things about it, but there's also certain, like, a lot of people never would have that truly do that did end up following up and finding like the true roots of it. A lot of them also did get inspired. If not for those movies, a lot of people maybe wouldn't have been around too.
Exactly.
So it's kind of mixed. It's like there's a lot of bad things, but there's a lot of people were inspired by it too. So it's hard because I talked to some old school people, and a lot of them were like, yeah, when Beat Straight came out, we were all in the theater. And it was a big deal to some people that ended up being like legitimate people in hip hop, whether they're rapping or whatever. So, but yeah, there's a lot of bad things happen.
A lot of people got work from it too. Some of them background that you don't
Yeah.
hear about as much, but like they got some legitimate,
Yeah.
B-Boys and stuff to be in it and stuff like that, which was kind of big for them when they went back to their neighborhoods.
Yeah. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag, but it's something that it's deep, man. There's a lot to it. I think there's a lot of interesting things about it. But yeah, I'm just thankful that I was lucky enough to find it for myself, and to make a lot of friends from it, and have my life be what it is now because of that. If not for breaking, I never would have been doing a lot of things that I do now. So.
Cool. Speaking of which, back when I was a kid, back when we were kids, you always wanted to get that Adidas tracksuit. Get the little. You touched on this earlier. You wanted to get your Pumas, and they had to be clean because you can't show up raggedy, right?
Dude, I just got some new Adidas.
So now that we're older, do you wear like a suit and tie when you go into a battle?
Stupid.
Maybe a little handkerchief in your pocket.
What else?
He said what else?
With that hat to match.
I mean, you gotta be comfortable, man.
He just is like, duh.
If you don't got your
he shows up for a permission slip to serve someone up. Sign this, and then he just works them.
How deep are you? How big are you guys? How big is your crew?
Man, now I have over the years I think we've had 60 plus people. We've had like generations of people. Some people, like some of them, became DJs and moved on and did other things, and some of them started as DJs because we're mostly breakers, but we have other elements of hip hop. But anyways, right now I think we got about 25 members, and I don't know, maybe 15 people that are like on it, and like 7 people that are like killing it, like battling, So sometimes you have a lot of people that are practicing, but they're not, representing publicly, and some of them are training, and they're going to come out, soon, and some of them are in the scene right now. So it's a constant cycle. There's a lot of younger guys, a lot of people that are like, a little bit older but still young, and some of them are older. So yeah, but definitely. I mean, there's practice regularly, and we're lucky to have, it's not like a common thing, in the world. So we're lucky to have had the opportunity to have something like that could last as many years as it has for us,
Definitely.
So that's cool. It's cool.
So was that your gateway into your career as a I guess a producer, a director, an animator? Was it your love of hip hop and dancing that was your gateway to your career?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that because it was kind of, everything was like happening at the same time. Like I was already drawing. I was drawing comics and doing animation and dancing before I was breaking. So that was already a big part of my life, and I was dancing as well, like doing whatever I thought was dancing when I was little, and house dancing as best I knew how, before I discovered breaking by seeing someone else do it, and then so I was always doing this and that at the same time, and then I would film our practices, and then I started talking to people about why they did it, and then I would go to parties, and then I liked the parties, so then I started talking to people at the parties about why they were there, and it was a part of my life, so I was just interested, and then it just like kept meeting people and filming more things and breaking at other places and traveling. And so it kind of was really organic because everything's hand in hand. People, all the people that became my friends were also people that I documented. So
Yeah.
I would say that like it was everything that happened was just really natural, no plan, just kind of like it was always just love, motivated by like it was like what did I want? It was something I was already gonna do because I wanted to do it.
Right.
And the opportunities came because like okay, we did that video Stolen that Raekwon was recommended, right?
Right.
But we didn't make money from Stolen. We did Stolen. No one made money from Stolen. We just all really liked it, and we really had a good idea, and we took all our own money and we traveled to another state. We jumped in the car, like one tiny car. More people were in there. It was like a clown car, and we all I don't even. I mean, I know why. We thought it was gonna be dope. So that's why we did it, and then we did our best because it was what we wanted to do. And then somebody saw it and then said, "Hey, I want to invest in what you're doing because I see what you can do." But I didn't know that was gonna happen. So it just snowballs because everything comes down to doing a really good job because you really care about what you're doing. So that's kind of been the theme of everything I've done is trying to do the best I could do because I really want it. I mean, my motivation is to do a good job, and everything else just comes from that. So,
Yeah, you're like the poster boy for do something that you love and the money will follow.
Right.
Sometimes.
I'm assuming. He's like, didn't you hear me just get done saying Raekwon didn't pay?
but I'll take it, man. I appreciate it. I'll take it. Yeah.
So at what point did you take all of this, like all of your skills, and turn it into a company? Like, because there's a lot of people that with the skills that you have, and they're trying to go and find a job somewhere. What made you stick to it and do your own stuff?
I just never wanted to do. I just have no will to do anything for anyone else. If anything, it's like I can't. I just don't have like a drive. I can't. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll put everything I can into something I believe in, but usually it's something that I think of. And I think it was like probably around 01. I just like I decided like even before that I was like probably like 18. I was like I'm a company, whatever. and then, but what happens is just getting more mature, and I'm lucky because like in my crew, Chicago Tribe, one of the DJs was DJ Intel, and he happened to be my friend, and he happened to go to school and become a cinematographer, and and I was always shooting stuff on my own, but at a certain point, I was just like, I think Stolen was the first time where I was like, hey, we're gonna do this. Do you want to come? And then we did work together, and then we just kept working together. And like, he's one of my partners now, and like, he's a part of my, my company. Like, basically, the thing is like, it's really, even if it's a company, it's still about projects. Like, a project comes, and you have a necessity, and you have a certain budget, maybe, So then you say, these are my means, so let's put our team together, and you have a proven team, people that you trust and rely on, so you're going to keep going back to them. So, and you learn how to work together, and plus each project, I always intentionally say I'm going to do something that I've never done, or try to do something that we've never we don't know how to do yet. I'll usually like draw it in the storyboard, like, okay, this is what I see. Like we're gonna do this, and then we'll figure it out, and
How long does that usually take?
like when Phife pops out of the bed,
Mm-hmm.
and his clothes go on, and his hat goes on and stuff like that. Like in the storyboard, you see like the bed rises and stuff like that, and like all this stuff. And I was like, we're gonna do this. We'll figure it out, And then we figured it out, but it's just like at the time, everyone's looking at me like, all right, Konee, like how's this gonna
How are we
happen?
gonna do this? Yeah.
And then I'm looking at Phife. I was like, all right, bro, here's what we're gonna do. And I'm like, I don't
He's
want to
like,
hurt
please remember, I don't have insurance.
yeah,
And I can't
I was
fly.
like, I don't want to hurt you, and but actually, it's funny because like the way that particular one went, like, it went actually really smooth, and we're but yeah, stuff like that, like because you challenge yourself, and then it keeps it interesting, but then you grow, and you have a new skill in your up your sleeve because you did it before, and then and when you do something that like that, then people trust you more the next time. They're like, well, they did it last time, so so it's cool, and that's kind of the idea, is to always like put yourself in that position to like grow, because every project is like there's no last project. There's always like everything is learning,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who you're gonna meet, where you're gonna go, that's the fun part and the scary part,
What they're gonna ask you to do or make.
Yeah, you don't know, and I'm not closed-minded to like a good idea is a good idea. It's just about the motivation is to do something that I haven't seen. Most people that come to you, they usually, it's not like something that hasn't been done. I'm always looking for to do something that I haven't seen out that's not already being done. Because why
Dude,
just
I want to come help you
yeah.
when you actually sell someone on an idea of, so there's going to be this hip hop video and you're going to say, okay, so you're in space, right? I got dibs. I want to help. I'm
No,
going
I
to
already
be like,
I already made a video called Space.
son of a bitch.
Did you see it?
Apparently not.
That video is a
I
great
watched
example.
all your videos. I had your video. I just clicked play on your.
Yes, it's been so nice. Like
And I've been, no, and this is even before tonight.
Oh, really? You just
I thought I
just
watched everything.
That's awesome, man.
I wonder if you timed it. How long would it take to go through everything?
Right.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like how much time I would put into like what does it all add up to?
Yeah.
like 1 hour of work from 20 years, or
It's just like, you watch it for 90 days every day.
yeah.
Or,
But man, you should watch Space because I'm not saying that it's anything, but all I'm saying is it's an example of
What you're telling me is not to be harassing you about trying to find some work, is what you're telling me.
yeah, that's what it is.
yes.
John Roberts?
Yeah, Little John Roberts, because that video is an example of just a bunch of ideas that like I didn't know if I'd be able to do, but that we just did them,
Right.
And it was just like, because he at the time he was like, we did that in Atlanta, and he was like, he kept calling me MacGyver because because the whole thing, he's a drummer, right? And he made an album with a bunch of artists on his drums, on his production. So so the whole thing with that is that I wanted to like, oh, okay, you're a drummer, so like what can we do with drums? Like what can we do that we haven't seen with drums? So I was like, we have different types of drums. We have the kick, we have the drumsticks, I was like, let's play with that. Let's explore like how creative can we be? And that was kind of the starting point with that. And then the other aspect of that video was it had 4 guest stars. Actually, no, 7 guest stars, because it had him, and then it had the performers with 4 verses, and then it had instrument players, and so the challenge was, so what happened was I was like, how can we like get all these people to be in the video together? And I was like, we could do something like FaceTime, right? But then I thought about like the concept of space, and everyone's verse is kind of like taking space and thinking about it in a different way. Like someone's talking about like their physical space, someone's talking about like space, age, different things like that. And I was like, when I think of space, I think of like that retro late 50s, early 60s, like retro future, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I looked up like the World's Fair, I think the 1963 World's Fair, and then that's where they premiered the first video telephone, right? So I was like, wow, like what if the whole video was like all these different artists communicating, playing music to each other through this like through the original video telephone. So we're instead of just doing like iPhone, something that will look dumb in like 2 years because it's like old technology, let's just like embrace the first one, and let's play with that look. And we have that like the eerie. If you listen to the song, it's got like just something about it like works with that, and it's in black and white too, so everything just kind of mixes, and I don't know, I like that. I like it. I don't know if anybody knows what like that. If you watch the video, I don't know if they even know what they're talking into, but it really is the phone that they're talking into. Yeah, I think no one probably knows that what it is, but I mean, it does. There is a reason for it, and the cool thing too is like he really had like we couldn't get everyone together. We got like the performers, the singers, we got them together. Like they all came to Atlanta and we did them all there. We really shot them, but one of them is a lot of them were all on tour in different places. On the like one of them's on the Tonight Show, one of them's here, one of them's there. So we had to have them actually send footage in, right? So the cool thing was because of the concept, we could do that and make it make sense, and it wasn't weird. So then a lot of people just send in their footage, and then we played off of that on the choruses. We had people that weren't in the song. We had them send their stuff, like DJ Jazzy Jeff is like scratching on you could see him, and like Avery Sunshine did one, and different people like just to kind of like play with it and really bring that whole. It was like a family. All these musicians that like know each other, like they're all like a part of that video. It's like 7 minutes long, so there was time to it's time to add them all in.
Yeah, you get 45 seconds and go.
Yeah. But it was cool, like everybody that like all these people contributed, and that's fun. It was fun. I really like that video. I don't know if anybody cares about it, but I like
it. Nice.
I wanted to ask you because when I look up and down your quote unquote resume, the folks that you've been dealing with, you have Kindred, the Family Soul, you have Rhymefest, you have Avery Sunshine, you have Major Lazer, you have Kanye and Kim. That's probably not a music video, it's a documentary short.
Yeah. So it's like about it's a pilot that never came out. It's about the TV show that they did together that never it didn't get picked up, but Comedy Central funded the pilot. It's a film about like basically about that pilot, like how it was made and why it was made and how it came to be. So that came out, and well, the way Rhymefest and was one of the creators and producers, and he's a part of the show. And another person named Daniel Kellison. Daniel Kellison was a producer on the show, executive producer, and they're like it wasn't good, but then like the time behind the scenes came out, and everyone thought it was good because of the behind the scenes.
Really?
So like it already didn't get picked up. But then when that came out, it ended up being like like that behind the scenes got all over, like it went viral, and like CNN put it on their show, and like
really, that's awesome.
So then they got a second chance at getting picked up, but then I don't know, it didn't work out. It fell through, but it was just it kind of broke down. Like I mean, I think it had potential, but So that's what that was. It was just like telling a little story about. Because my whole thing is, a lot of money was spent, a lot of work was spent. I mean, I was there for like 5 days shooting. I saw everything. It was a cool story. And I was like, yo, man, like you do all that and then like nothing happens. It's just nothing. So that's a representation of that 5 days or whatever of time.
Yeah.
So anyone like there's a whole thing on that if you watch it like about the puppet because the show is like basically Saturday Night Live with puppets as the cast and then real people star in the show with these puppets. That's what the show is about, the premise.
Yeah.
And so like I did like a whole thing in that in behind the scenes about the puppeteers and like what it means to be a puppeteer. And like even though it's a comedy show, like there's still people that have talent that are not really recognized. So there's like a thing about that in there. And whatever. It's just like documenting life and like showing it to people. So I think that stuff's interesting. But the media is like, oh, Kim K and Kanye, but
Yeah, they focus on the wrong part.
It's mostly about the details of like the show, and it's entertaining, and what went into making it. So.
And then you also have on here No ID. We already said Rhymefest. So, I have you associated in my brain to Common. Did you ever do any work with Common at all?
Well, with Common, the main thing, Common I interviewed him for this documentary that I'm still working on, right?
Okay.
But also like I started doing this film about his album Resurrection, which is his second album, which is my favorite album, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way they came to be was I talked to No ID, and I was basically like, yeah, I want to do a film focusing solely on Resurrection, like how it was made, an album film, And No ID is like, let's go, let's do it, I started doing the work, started doing all the groundwork, started getting everything together. I started contacting everyone that was a part of everything, right? And then I contacted like the label, people like I think the label's defunct, Relativity, but I talked to all the label people about getting support for it and all that stuff. And then I just tried to set up certain interviews, and I was getting a lot of I wasn't getting the support that I wanted, and I was trying to do it for like a certain anniversary of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't, and I'm in my mind even right now, I'm not like I haven't got given up or whatever, but I wasn't getting it wasn't going as smooth as it needed to go for me to get it done.
Right.
So I would just say that's limbo. I would just say that's in limbo. But but it's still something I care about, and it's still something that we'll see what happens with it. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, if something's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But I did do a lot of interviews for that film. I've interviewed a ton of people, like other artists from other places, about how that album influenced them and how they feel about it. So like there's work done for it, but it's not to what I would consider, I'm not satisfied with it,
Yeah.
But I interviewed him a couple times for it, and in different situations for different things.
Yeah.
And I still want to do a lot more, but so that's just something.
So with all that, you've had exposure to all these folks that are making things happen. How crazy is it to know that you've worked on projects for them and then you see them like on the Grammy stage?
Yeah. Like how is that?
Yeah, what's that feeling like? Like if I ever saw Charlie walking up on a stage, like accepting, whatever, most popular podcast personality / 3D guy, I'd probably be like, oh my God, that's my boy, go Charlie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So explain kind of the feelings that you get when you see a Rhymefest, getting some recognition in the Commons and the Kindreds and
yeah. Well, you know what? I think that plus like a lot of the breakers, like the B-boys that I knew growing up, all of them are on commercials and performing with Gwen Stefani or whoever. Like all those people
Oh man, that had to be crazy. Yeah, that's cool.
I saw her this past summer.
like on a date or.
Yeah, she
You're seeing her.
She was bored with the rich guy. She came and hung out with my
seeing her. You're saying you were seeing her. Yeah.
I said no. I saw her in
one of our shows.
There was a what you call it? A concert in Napa.
Oh, okay.
And I went out there and I saw her. She was killing it.
Mm-hmm. She's good shows.
That's dope. She's a talented young lady. But yeah, like so a lot of even the dancers just coming up dancing in the scene, a lot of them are are all part of they're all over those TV shows, dance shows, and doing a lot of things. So I would say that maybe 15 years ago or whatever, it wasn't like a normal thing. I would say now it's, I don't know, I mean, I guess it's weird, but you know what? It's not as impressive when you're a little older and you've kind of been around people a little bit more. It's not. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's great.
Right.
But it's not as Yeah. Nah. I don't want to diminish it. But I want to say that it's not unexpected anymore. Like,
who's working their butt off, and it's more of it's about damn time.
Yeah. Yes. That's good. That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. Like, you've seen these people, like they deserve. I think they deserve getting what they get, and it does seem like that. It does seem like, of course, they finally deserve it. It's more like that than like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
So I would say like that. I mean, I think it's cool, but I just think it's great, and I'm happy for everyone, that gets something, because I know so many people give up, and a lot of these people get stuff later than not, but they don't, but they didn't give up. They never stopped. That's what even if, like, like the people that when someone wins like best director or whatever, they never get it when they should have got it. They always get it like because everyone's like, oh, they should have got it for this, so we'll give it to them for that, right?
Well, like, it's the whole Leonardo DiCaprio thing. Like, look how long it took him.
It's perfect about it.
It's a perfect example. So it's what I've learned is there's so many different things besides how good you are that go into it, that it's just a matter of like the temperature of like people's perception of you at the time and what else is going on. There's so much. There's luck and there's persistence, and then there's there's a lot of it is luck and timing that you can't control. So I think it's 50-50. I think it's luck, and I think it's hard work and persistence.
Yeah, there's a saying that's opportunity is when luck meets persistence.
There you go. Did I make that up?
Maybe. I think maybe you made a video about it.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
A film. It's a film.
I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, so I think that's the key, man. You're always, everyone says like, man, people give up right when it's about, it was gonna happen.
Right when it was about to happen.
But it's tough. Things are hard, man. You gotta like, not only do you have to love it, but you have to have faith, and sometimes it doesn't even work out. And shit, man. Hey, man, I think I'm lucky, and I work hard to have the opportunity when my luck is there,
Right.
You don't know who's gonna call when for what. You don't know who cares. I didn't know you guys were gonna, you want to interview me or knew anything or cared, you just came. But I had no idea, the fact that, I mean, I don't expect that, but I appreciate it, so You can only do your best. That's all you can do, man. Do your best and put it out there. So
That's it.
that's your job. Your job is to do your best and put it out there.
That's it.
Yeah.
With that said, sir, it might be about that time.
To the bathroom?
Do you have to go to the bathroom?
No.
Oh, I was like, we could hit pause real quick if you gotta go potty.
He's talking about you.
I thought you were saying you had to use the bathroom.
No. You know what it's time for, though? This or that.
Oh, okay.
Konee Rok. KoneeRok.com. That's KoneeRok.com. Konee Rok. This or that. Cubs or Sox?
I don't care.
Ooh.
Bulls, not this year. Next.
He's Bulls. God.
He avoided that one.
House or hip hop?
House. I mean, hip house.
Hip house.
Hip house. Nice.
You're gonna duck and dodge every last one of these.
What else
All
you
right.
got?
Pizza or hot dogs?
Man, dude, I like sausage pizza. Is that,
Look at
you know what I mean?
you're basically saying a hot dog pizza.
This is amazing what he's doing.
You are politically correct. It's not even funny. All right, here. You can't dodge this one, and if you do, we might have to come through this web camera. Portillo's or Wiener Circle?
Ooh.
Wiener Schnitzel.
How dare you?
No. See, Portillo's. I was there last week twice in the same day,
Yeah.
but in both times I was there, I was talking about how Portillo's is only is good, but it's by default. It gets its reputation. It's just. But my point was, if you go to Chicago, because I was talking to someone that was from out of town, and they wanted a Chicago experience, and I was like, yo, there's Vienna beef places with these yellow signs, and there's a bunch of them, and you can go to a lot of different ones, and you're gonna get a true Chicago hot dog. And Portillo's is not necessarily. Portillo's is like a legitimized Chicago hot dog, but I wouldn't call it. I would say you have to go to a spot. You know what I mean? That's my opinion.
Yeah, so if you want that
So-
experience that my man Konee's talking about, you're in Chicago. Take the bus or a cab to Harlem, just south of Belmont. It's between Belmont and North Avenue on Harlem. It's this little shack. It's called Three Dog Night. Get yourself one of the specials. It's 2 hot dogs and fries. Call it a day. And
Dude,
then
that
just
sounds
pack up your suitcase and get the hell out of town, because it doesn't get any better than that.
Dude, I'm gonna go there.
Where is it called?
Go check it out. I hope they're still there. Yeah, dude, 3 Dog Night on Harlem.
That's awesome, man. I've never been there.
I've never been there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for the tip.
You got it, son.
He said, yeah.
All right, so now we were talking about roast beef. Do you get it regular or do you get it dipped?
Man, I just had it not dipped, and that was a mistake, bro. So you know where I'm going.
Boy.
With hot peppers, bro.
That's it.
Like the
All right, this one's going to be a little bit out there. Are you east of Ashland or west of Ashland?
I'm west of Ashland.
Nice. And I was trying to figure out how to ask this one, and I think I'm going to ask it this way. Herb Kent or Ramonski Love? Are you V103 or GCI?
Check this one out. I'm
Uh-oh.
Z90. I'm
I knew you were
Z95.
gonna say
B96 sucks. B96 sucks. B96 sucks. B96.
nice.
Yeah. Well,
Remember that?
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, nah, dude. Scratch all that. What's what the fuck was it, man? I'm a time travel 6 feet under type of dude. I'm you know 89.3 FM. You guys know what I'm talking
sound
about.
effects.
Somebody knows what I'm talking
songs. Yeah, I used to listen to that too back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so now this last one, I noticed that you started dropping in there that you're drawing your little comic books and you know a little something about a Superman movie and little superhero movies and entertainment. Marvel or DC?
Watch what you say right now.
Image, Savage Dragon.
He gets props. He gets so much props right now. He gets so much props for that.
Eric Larson, Savage Dragon.
You get so. Cody, you mad. That's a great.
Wait, 1 second, bro. Stay right there.
He has left the show.
The first
he's probably going to go get some big monster thing that we're going to be like, ooh,
I feel like he's a presidential candidate. Nice, Savage Dragon.
What did you do?
It's the Savage Dragon statue.
Show it again. It was all blurry.
Show it again, Cody.
How's that?
Oh, here. Show it again.
Nice.
You see it?
Yeah.
You look at his full articulation. Just kidding.
Dude, I want to say, Carlos, that Konee has people prepped him for this or that. Because everyone, he's not hesitated and had a perfect alternative.
Yeah.
And the good answers.
Exactly.
Comics.
He didn't answer not one. Well, he did answer the dipped roast beef.
The dip one, yeah.
That was because I really did have that experience yesterday.
The comic one is like, I have to give it to you because that's a good alternative. That's really good. You have to
man.
Get into comic books to know that one.
Do you guys think that Image is ever going to get into making movies?
I don't. Should I say this publicly? I don't know. I don't think I should because that'll ruin my strategy of getting something done.
We'll have to wait and see, right?
Just keep watching, dude. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
You saw the figure. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nice.
So I was down there anyway. So I grabbed the kids book.
Oh, cool.
If you guys,
for sale out there anywhere?
Is it for
say
sale?
What? Yeah, I mean, I don't make money from it, but it is for sale, and the kids make money from it. So, yeah. But this was based on the Kindred video. So, if you guys, that's the kids that wrote it.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
And, that's it.
Yeah, we can find it.
It's like $7 or something. You guys can do it.
Yeah.
Either that or 3 Dog Nights.
But yeah, go ahead. Go get serious food. Make fun. Let me see.
So, yeah, this or that was fun though. So
yeah, that was good, man. That was a good one, man. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. Yeah. Dude, I can tell from your work and the way that you talk about your work, you are having so much fun. Is it that much fun inside your world as it is? Like, we're looking at you having all this fun. Is it as much fun as it seems?
Well, I don't always get to talk to people that are like you guys. It seems like are into like what's the word? You guys appreciate like the finer details of like the thought and like process, right?
Process, yeah.
And I'm always like analyzing process and studying it. I'm into it. I could talk to you guys all day about this on or off camera. So,
yeah.
And this is how I think, but you can't talk to the average person about it. So I don't. I never talk about it.
Right.
I'll talk about it to Intel when we're working on something, or when I'm trying to convince someone that like something can be done. But so when I consider this like it's a great chance to talk about stuff that's in my head, that I don't always communicate. So
Dude, whenever you're ready to come back on, you let me know. We'll have you on.
Yeah.
We're past 2 hours, and I can continue to talk.
Dude, I did not know that. I did not know
That's how it goes. People are like, 2 hours, what? And then we start talking.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? That was what?
You've been chilling in that spot for 2 hours and like comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, that's dude, I never would think that. That is amazing. That's so cool.
Goes by fast, man.
Yeah. Man, but for sure, like no, I do love it. Like no matter how hard things are, the scene there, like it's all about like thinking and then just having something become tangible,
Right.
That's the motivation. Like I do, like I'm telling you, man, when I worked on a lot of videos, man, I was just like I'm telling you, man, it was like when I worked on every video, man, like it's bad. And then but when you finish it, man, the payoff is so good, man. The feel like the day you finish something is that euphoria is like that's it, Just like because when I know that it's done, like when it's done, like I'm like I did my best, Like when I hit that point, I don't even care what anyone thinks about it. I just know that like I gave it everything, and I'm like, hey man, either you like it or you don't. And I never assume that someone's gonna like it. I just know that I do what I could,
Right.
So.
Right.
So man, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard, man. Making film, anybody, any artist, when there's pressure and you're trying to do something, it's stressful, man. It's hard. So you really gotta just, you really gotta care about what you're doing. It's hard. But I have a lot of things I have like a lot of things that are like huge that I'm thinking about and stuff and writing down all the time and stuff. So just gotta find that time to finish it.
I could show you my reminders list on my iPhone.
Yeah.
I have one called Random Ideas.
Yeah.
I got one called Robots and Aliens. I got another list for
Robots and Aliens.
Yeah. I got.
Do you ever look at those, or you just keep writing on them?
Yeah, I take a look at them like when I can, like if I'm in line somewhere and I have time to kill.
Yeah.
I'll look at my list and see if I can fit it into my schedule.
Yeah.
And then I try to get things done according to that. But for me, I need to write it down because my brain is at 110.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good, man. So, tell me like a random idea. Like, what's one that unless you don't want to like ruin it for people,
I don't care.
Like, I'm just wondering, like, let's say one that you're in line at the grocery store and you look at it, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna like.
Well, right now I'm working on a cartoon. I have a comic strip called Robots and Aliens. And
okay. Now that makes more sense.
Yeah. And so with that, I'm basically trying to make a cartoon out of it. So I have the storyboards I'm working on animatics right now. And that's why when I started researching for the show, I started seeing your videos, and I was like, oh, snap. Perfect timing.
Oh, shit.
So let's see. I want to build a Leisure Suit Larry type of game.
I love that game.
Yeah. I have this one. Do you play with After Effects at all?
I'm not gonna say that I don't. I'm just not a big After Effects person. Like I said, I'm a Photoshop Premiere type of dude.
Yeah.
But,
well, when you get a chance, take a look at the character animator in.
I know. I'm familiar.
Yeah. So that character animator, I wanted to draw Donald Trump and just have him, and these are ideas. Go ahead and steal them. I don't care. If they see the light of day, and I'm not talking to you, I'm talking about whoever's listening.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll
steal it.
I want to animate the signifying monkey.
Okay.
I want to do a bedtime story, but for adults.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh,
Dude, don't you should,
I
I would not tell people, dude, do not tell people to stop. You have to do it. Just don't tell
No,
anybody.
this one is under copyright, so if you steal this one, I'm
Oh,
coming
okay.
after you. I want to make like the robot in my comic strip. He's got this.
Yeah.
He's got his chest opens up, and all kinds of things happen. Just so I wanna actually build a toy where his chest opens up, but it's like a flower pot. And you can plant
cool.
like sunflowers. Maybe you want to plant a little something different. You know what I mean? No, we're not here to judge. We're not here to judge.
Strawberries.
Yeah, strawberries.
arugula.
Yeah. Flammable trees.
Potato.
So yeah,
Cool.
those are.
I want one.
And then,
I want one of those robots.
But yeah, like let me see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different categories for reminders.
Wow, that's nice, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I usually just write down cool idea, blah blah blah, and then I move on to the next note.
Yeah. I tried to do that, but then I get like sticky notes and post-it notes and all kinds of stuff all over the place, and then the house looks raggedy.
Yeah.
It's like bomb.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool, man. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So how long have you been working on that comic?
You know what? We're at 2 hours and almost 15 minutes. Let's wrap up the show, and then we can talk stuff after the show. If you want to hang out for a second.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. So hey, Konee Rok, if people are looking for you online, where, my friend, can they find you?
Go to my site, KoneeRok.com, KoneeRok.com, or you can find me at Konee Rok everywhere. It's all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, the whole deal. And get at me, man, if you got a good reason.
Unless you're looking for money.
Then that would be a bad reason.
And Charlie B. Williams, if people are looking for you, where can they find you?
If you're looking for me, you can find me at cargocollective.com/Charlie B. Williams. You can find me on Twitter at CBW3, on Facebook at facebook.com/CharlieBW3, and that almighty Pinterest page. Check it out, CharlieBW3. Go ahead and follow me and
almighty
get art in your life. Get some art in your life.
That is so wonderful. I look forward to that every week.
The almighty Pinterest.
And, oh boy, here we go. And I am Carlos Gomez. You can find me at carlosrgomez.com or on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Behance. You can find me at under the name Coconut Justice. This has been the Sketch Zone podcast. You can find us at sketch.zone. Hey, while you're out there, if you have any ideas of some folks that you maybe want to get to know a little better on the show, let us know. We'll track down some folks. So go to sketch.zone/guest, and you can give us a heads up on who you might want to talk to, or have us talk to at least. If you're on Twitter, you can find us at SketchZone. You can go to facebook.com/TheSketchZone, youtube.com/SketchZonePodcast, or Stitcher, SoundCloud, and, of course, iTunes. And, hey, check this out. This is going to be something new that we're going to do.
What's up?
If you're on iTunes, leave us a review. And if you leave us a review, we'll go ahead and read it on the show. How about them apples?
Wow.
You open up a can of worms with that one.
Nice.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, we get to pick. Well, no, if it's a tired ass show. If you don't like the show and you leave a funny review, chances are we're gonna read it. But,
I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna respond somehow on your Facebook page or somewhere.
We can read it and we can respond, and it doesn't necessarily have to be on iTunes. we have this show. But yeah, go ahead and do that. Leave a review on iTunes, and
Please do,
we'll read it on the show, and if anything else, it'll be good exposure for you. Because at least 3 people will watch this show.
We'll make that freedom.
It would be the guests and the 2 hosts.
That's it.
Speaking of guests, thank you, Tony, for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
This is awesome, man. I'm so thankful, man. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Konee, everybody.
That's it for us, everyone. Have a great week. And hey, while you're out there, be nice. Have a good week.
See you guys.